Picture a woman standing at the edge of a vast, tumultuous ocean. The waves crash against her with relentless force, pulling her under time and time again. Each fall seems final, each tumble into the depths an end. But then, with quiet determination, she rises. She always rises. Life, you see, is not a straight line, but a dance of ebb and flow, rise and fall. And it is in the falling that she finds her strength, not in avoiding the waves, but in surrendering to their rhythm, learning their song, and rising anew. This woman is not just an individual, she is a metaphor for the human spirit. She reminds us that to live fully is to embrace the falls, for they are not failures, but the foundation of growth. Each stumble is an invitation to transform, each setback a mirror reflecting our capacity to endure, to learn, to rise. In her we see that resilience is not a battle against life, but a harmony with it. She does not resist the tides, she flows with them, knowing that the ocean is vast, but so is her will. And when she stands again, drenched but unbroken, she carries with her the wisdom of the depths. What makes her rise? It is not stubbornness or defiance. It is the quiet understanding that life itself is a process of continual becoming. She embraces the imperfection of each moment, the cracks in her armor, the bruises on her soul, and through this acceptance she finds a power greater than any fear. This is the essence of a life well lived, not to avoid falling, but to master the art of rising. Each rise is a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there is light within us waiting to shine again. And so when you think of the woman who rises after every fall, do not pity her struggles. Admire her strength. Celebrate her spirit. For she is not merely surviving, she is thriving, becoming more luminous with every challenge she overcomes. Let her story be yours. Let her rise be a reminder that you too can stand tall no matter how many times the waves pull you under. Because falling is not the end, it is the beginning of your next ascent. Resilience is often seen as a trait, a fixed characteristic that some possess and others lack. But what if we saw it differently? What if resilience were an art form, a living, breathing expression of the human spirit? To master resilience is not merely to endure hardship, but to transform it into something meaningful, even beautiful. It's about taking the raw materials of pain, failure, and adversity and shaping them into a masterpiece of strength and wisdom. Think about the greatest works of art. None emerged from ease and perfection. They were born from struggle, from an artist grappling with the limitations of their medium, the constraints of their tools, and often the turmoil of their own lives. Resilience is no different. It is the art of living, where the canvas is your experience, the brush is your will, and the colors are the emotions and lessons born from every fall. And to cultivate resilience as an art is to first embrace its messiness. An artist does not fear making mistakes, they understand that mistakes are integral to creation. Similarly, resilience requires a willingness to stumble, to fall, and to recognize that these moments of apparent failure are not the end of the story, but the beginning of something new. They are the strokes that give depth and texture to the larger picture of our lives. An essential element of this art is imagination. Resilience is not simply bouncing back to what was, but envisioning what could be. It is the ability to see beyond the immediate pain and envision a path forward, one that may not yet exist but can be created. It's the process of transforming a blank canvas, a life momentarily emptied by loss or hardship, into something vibrant and whole again. Patience, too, is key. Great art is not created in haste, nor is resilience achieved overnight. It requires the slow, deliberate layering of effort, the persistent shaping of one's inner world. Like a sculptor chiseling away at stone, we chip away at despair, self-doubt, and fear, revealing the strength and beauty hidden beneath. Resilience as an art form also calls for perspective. An artist steps back from their work to see the bigger picture, and so must we in the face of adversity. What seems insurmountable in the moment often shrinks in significance when viewed through the lens of time and wisdom. Resilience allows us to see our challenges not as obstacles but as opportunities to grow, to learn, to evolve. And finally, resilience is not a solitary act. Great art often draws inspiration from the world and from others. Resilience, too, thrives in connection. It's found in the support of a friend, the encouragement of a mentor, or the shared stories of those who have walked similar paths. In these connections, we find strength, just as artists find inspiration in collaboration and community. To view resilience as an art form is to honor it as a process, not a destination. It is a lifelong journey of creation, one that is never truly finished but always unfolding. And in this unfolding we discover not only our capacity to survive but to thrive, to create something extraordinary out of the ordinary challenges of life. When we approach resilience as art, we stop merely enduring our hardships and start transforming them. We become the artists of our own lives, turning every fall into a brushstroke, every scar into a story, and every rise into a testament to the boundless creativity of the human spirit. Failure often carries a heavy weight, a stigma of inadequacy and defeat. But what if we reframed it? What if instead of treating failure as a dead end, we saw it as part of a larger rhythm, a dance we are all destined to participate in? In this perspective, failure becomes less a source of shame and more an integral step in the choreography of a life well lived. To dance with failure is to understand that it is not the opposite of success, but its partner. The two are inseparable, like light and shadow, each defining and enhancing the other. Failure, when viewed through this lens, is not a setback, it is a movement, a shift in tempo, a chance to realign and find your footing in the flow of life. Consider a dancer on stage. They do not expect perfection in every step, they expect movement. Even when they stumble, they incorporate the misstep into the performance, transforming it into something graceful and deliberate. Failure in life can be approached in much the same way, not as an interruption to our journey, but as a pivot point, a moment to adjust our stance, rediscover our rhythm, and continue moving forward. This dance requires a profound shift in perspective. Instead of fearing failure, we must learn to embrace it. It is in the falling that we learn how to rise, in the missteps that we discover the boundaries of our strength and creativity. Failure is a teacher, not an enemy, offering lessons that success alone cannot provide. What makes this dance transformative is the mindset we bring to it. Resilience, curiosity, and humility are the qualities that allow us to move with failure instead of resisting it. Resilience provides the strength to keep going, even when the music seems to falter. Curiosity helps us explore the hidden lessons within each misstep, turning what might have been a source of frustration into an opportunity for growth. Humility reminds us that we are not perfect and we don't need to be. Every great dancer knows that mistakes are part of the process. Moreover, the dance with failure is a deeply creative act. When plans fall apart, we are invited to improvise, to explore paths we might never have considered if everything had gone according to plan. This creativity is not just about finding solutions, it's about rediscovering our ability to adapt, to innovate, and to see possibility in the unexpected. But perhaps the most important aspect of dancing with failure is acceptance. To resist failure is to create unnecessary tension, to fight against the natural rhythm of life. Acceptance does not mean giving up, it means acknowledging what is, so we can move forward with clarity and grace. It's the difference between a dancer fighting the music and one who flows with it, finding beauty even in the unexpected pauses and shifts. In this dance, there are no winners or losers, no final judgments. There is only the ongoing process of learning, growing, and becoming. Each stumble is a reminder that we are human, each rise a testament to our resilience. The dance with failure is not about avoiding falls, but about learning how to rise again, each time with greater strength and confidence. When we embrace this dance, we free ourselves from the fear of failure. We come to see it not as an end, but as a beginning, a chance to refine our steps and deepen our understanding of the music of life. And in doing so, we discover that the dance itself, the journey, the effort, the courage to keep moving is where the true beauty lies. So let us step onto the stage of life without hesitation, knowing that failure will meet us there. Let us stumble, recover, and rise, weaving our mistakes into the fabric of our story. For it is in this dance that we find our greatest strength, our deepest wisdom, and the rhythm of a life fully lived. Perspective is a lens through which we view the world, coloring every experience, shaping every thought, and defining every emotion. It is not fixed, it shifts and evolves, influenced by our experiences, beliefs, and choices. And in this lies its greatest power, the ability to transform our lives by changing the way we see. When challenges arise, perspective becomes our most valuable ally. Imagine looking at a towering mountain from the base. It may seem insurmountable, a monolith of difficulty and despair. But climb a little higher, shift your viewpoint, and the same mountain reveals itself as a path of possibility, offering breathtaking vistas and profound lessons along the way. The mountain hasn't changed, but your perspective has, and with it your ability to navigate the climb. At its core, the power of perspective lies in its capacity to reshape reality. This does not mean ignoring hardship or pretending everything is fine. Instead, it means choosing to see beyond the immediate struggle, to uncover hidden opportunities, to find growth where others see only failure. It's about reframing the narrative from "why is this happening to me" to "what can this teach me?" Perspective invites us to step outside the narrow confines of our current emotions and circumstances. When we're caught in a moment of despair, it's easy to feel as though that moment defines us. But perspective reminds us that life is a continuum, that this moment, however painful, is but one chapter in a much larger story. It encourages us to zoom out, to see the bigger picture, and to recognize that even the darkest storms eventually pass, leaving the sky clearer and brighter than before. One of the most transformative aspects of perspective is its ability to turn setbacks into stepping stones. Consider failure not as a condemnation, but as a redirection. Each stumble offers a chance to learn, to refine our approach, and to move forward with greater clarity and strength. Seen from this angle, failure becomes not the end of the road, but a crucial part of the journey, a necessary step on the path to success. Perspective also allows us to cultivate gratitude, even in difficult times. When faced with adversity, it's easy to focus on what we've lost or what's gone wrong. But shifting our perspective can reveal the things we still have, the strength we've discovered, the support of loved ones, the lessons we've learned. Gratitude does not erase pain, but it gives us the resilience to endure it, reminding us that even in hardship, there is beauty to be found. Moreover, perspective is deeply connected to empathy. When we broaden our lens to include the experiences and feelings of others, we see beyond our own struggles and gain a richer understanding of the world. This not only deepens our connections with others, but also provides context for our own challenges, helping us to see them as part of the shared human experience rather than as isolating burdens. Changing perspective is not always easy. It requires intentional effort and a willingness to challenge our assumptions and biases. But it is a skill that can be cultivated like a muscle that grows stronger with use. Practices such as mindfulness, journaling, and seeking diverse viewpoints can help us step back and see situations from new angles, unlocking insights and possibilities we might otherwise have missed. The power of perspective is ultimately the power of choice. We cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. We can choose to see obstacles as opportunities, failures as lessons, and hardships as stepping stones to growth. In doing so, we reclaim our agency, transforming even the most difficult circumstances into catalysts for change and self-discovery. So when life feels overwhelming, remember this perspective is not about denying the difficulty of the moment, but about expanding your view to see its full context. It's about recognizing that even in the shadow of a mountain, there is light to be found, lessons to be learned, and strength to be gained. With the power of perspective, every challenge becomes a chance to grow, and every fall a step toward a higher vantage point. Acceptance is often misunderstood as a passive act, a kind of resignation to circumstances beyond our control. But true acceptance is anything but passive. It is an active, courageous choice to face life as it is, without denial, resistance, or bitterness. It is the doorway to transformation, the first step in turning pain into strength, setbacks into growth, and chaos into clarity. To accept is not to give up, but to acknowledge what is. It is the recognition that some battles cannot be won through sheer force of will, that fighting against the immovable only drains our energy and deepens our suffering. Acceptance invites us to stop wasting energy on what we cannot change and instead channel it toward what we can. In this way, it is a liberation, a release from the grip of frustration and the illusion of control. Transformation begins the moment we stop resisting reality. When we stop asking why me and start asking what now, acceptance becomes a bridge, a way to move forward. It allows us to engage with life as it is, not as we wish it to be, creating the space for growth and renewal. Through acceptance, we learn to work with the materials life has given us, however imperfect, and to shape them into something meaningful. At its heart, acceptance is a practice of deep presence. It asks us to confront our emotions, no matter how uncomfortable or painful, and to sit with them without judgment. In doing so, we gain clarity and insight, understanding that pain is not our enemy but a messenger, a signal of where healing is needed. When we allow ourselves to feel fully, we stop running from our emotions and begin to process them, transforming wounds into wisdom. Transformation is not a single moment but a process, and acceptance is its foundation. It is the soil in which resilience takes root, the ground from which courage and creativity grow. Once we accept what is, we become free to imagine what could be. Acceptance clears the fog of resistance, allowing us to see new paths, new solutions, and new opportunities that were hidden by our struggle to change the unchangeable. Acceptance also teaches us to find strength in vulnerability. To accept our limitations, our mistakes, and our fears is to embrace our humanity. It is through this honesty with ourselves that we discover our true power, the ability to adapt, to persevere, and to rise, not in spite of our struggles, but because of them. Transformation is born not of perfection, but of authenticity, the willingness to be fully ourselves, flaws and all. Through acceptance, we learn to flow with life rather than against it. Just as water adapts to the shape of its container, acceptance allows us to adapt to the shape of our circumstances. This adaptability is the essence of transformation. It enables us to remain grounded and flexible, finding strength in the face of uncertainty and grace in the midst of change. Acceptance does not mean the absence of effort. It is not about passively enduring life, but about engaging with it fully, with eyes wide open and a heart unguarded. It gives us the clarity to know what can be changed and the wisdom to release what cannot. In this balance lies the power to transform. The image of a woman who rises after every fall transcends the personal and becomes a universal symbol of perseverance, courage, and the transformative power of the human spirit. She is more than a single story, she is a metaphor, a mirror reflecting the struggles and triumphs that define the essence of existence. Through her, we see not just an individual journey, but a shared experience, one that speaks to the boundless capacity of people to endure, adapt, and grow. This woman is not defined by her falls, nor is she diminished by them. Instead, she embodies the resilience inherent in all of us, the ability to face adversity head-on, to weather life's storms, and to rise stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Her struggles become a testament to the strength that lies within, the unshakable force that refuses to be broken by life's challenges. As a symbol, she represents the cyclical nature of growth and renewal. In falling there is learning, in rising there is becoming. She reminds us that life is not a straight path, but a series of ascents and descents, and each one shaping us, refining us, and bringing us closer to the fullest expression of ourselves. Her journey is not about avoiding hardship, but about meeting it with courage and transforming it into a source of strength. The woman who rises after every fall is also a representation of hope. She carries within her the message that no matter how dark the night, no matter how deep the pit, there is always a way forward. Her ability to stand again, to walk again, to dream again, speaks to the universal truth that our potential for renewal is limitless. Her hope is not blind optimism, it is a deep, grounded faith in the possibility of transformation, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. This woman also symbolizes the balance of vulnerability and strength. She does not rise because she is unfeeling or impervious to pain. She rises because she allows herself to feel, to grieve, and to heal. Her strength is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to embrace it, to find power in her vulnerability, and to turn her wounds into sources of wisdom and compassion. In her we see that true strength is not hard or unyielding, but flexible and enduring. As a symbol, she transcends the individual and becomes a figure of universality. She is not defined by age, culture, or circumstance. She is a reflection of every person who has faced difficulty and chosen to rise. She embodies the quiet heroism of everyday life, the unspoken bravery of those who persist, and the grace of those who find beauty in the midst of hardship. The woman who rises after every fall also speaks to the transformative power of choice. Her journey is not one of inevitability, but of decision. With each fall, she chooses to rise. With each setback, she chooses to move forward. Her story reminds us that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. Through her choices, she becomes a beacon of possibility, showing us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, we have the power to shape our destiny. She stands as a symbol of interconnectedness, embodying the idea that no one rises alone. Her strength is not hers alone. It is drawn from the relationships, communities, and collective experiences that surround her. She reminds us that resilience is not a solitary act, but a shared one, built through the love, support, and encouragement of others. Through her, we see the power of connection and the profound truth that we are stronger together. In the journey of life, every fall is not a failure, but an invitation, a chance to learn, to grow, and to rise again. The woman who rises after every fall is not just a singular figure, she is a reflection of the resilience, courage, and transformative potential within each of us. Her story reminds us that setbacks are not the end but a beginning, that strength is forged in vulnerability, and that true power comes from embracing both the highs and lows of life with grace and determination. And to master resilience as an art form is to find beauty in imperfection. To dance with failure is to recognize it as a rhythm essential to our growth. To harness the power of perspective is to see the lessons hidden in our struggles. And to embrace acceptance and transformation is to turn pain into progress, and to view the woman as a symbol is to see her as a mirror of our own untapped strength. Let her journey inspire us to rise after every fall, to meet every challenge with open hearts and determined spirits, and to transform the story of our struggles into a masterpiece of perseverance and hope.